and go. And Audacity in three, two, one.
Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Barbell Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Christina Lynn, and I'm here with my co-host, Marissa Roy. And in today's episode, we're getting festive.
Two in a row, right? Is this the second one in a row?
Are we? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess
So
another
for the holidays.
seasonal episode. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we just want to equip you guys for the holidays, and we will be going through a fitness gift guide, just recommendations if you have a friend or a significant other that is into fitness. You need to get them something that aligns with their goals, or you can just send this episode to people who don't know what to get you, and hopefully they'll pick something off this list. And selfishly, if you want to send me a gift or Christina a gift, I would love all of these things.
Yes, I've actually got one of them in my cart right now to get for my husband. So I'm super
Which
excited.
one?
Well, I guess he doesn't listen. So
Yeah.
well, I'll talk about it when we talk about it, I
Okay.
guess.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we're just gonna go through and talk about the different gifts and why we think they're great health and fitness gifts. And I think also another way you can look at this episode is like how can you, the way I like to put it is engineer your environment to work with you and for you. So let's say you're just like, I wouldn't even know where to start, what to get myself with a health and fitness journey. Like this is a great way to gift yourself, invest in things that are going to help make your journey easier as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. I was definitely that person who used to think like supplements was where my like mind went
Yeah.
first when I was first starting my journey. But now, and I don't know if it's just because, we realize they're just not as important as say like a walking pad is. I also think it's important to talk that like these are not in any sort of particular order. We just kind of brain
Yeah.
dumped and we're just going to go through them.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Cool. Well, yeah, let's get started. You want to start?
Yeah, sure. So number one, we have a smartwatch. So I have the Garmin Venue and I absolutely love it. It has been my favorite smartwatch that I've had. I used to have a Fitbit and I had like an off-brand one prior to that crapped out on me after a while. So the Garmin Venue, yes, it is a little bit more expensive, but I feel like it is definitely worth it. I love it. If you're watching, well, I guess I don't really do YouTube anymore, but I like it because it looks kind of like an everyday watch. It's got like a
Yeah.
white band and like gold, but then it's also super fitnessy and it works well. You can track all the things, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah. I've always liked that on you. It looks really good.
Thanks.
And it's very like feminine. And like you said, it looks like a regular watch, but just with a
Mhm.
regular, like a smart screen. I have an
Mhm.
Apple Watch. I don't love it. I just wear it because I need to track my steps. But what I do like, I'm not going to lift my leg up, but you can find ankle straps for Apple Watches on Amazon, which can help with like if you do the whole walking pad at home setup, when you're typing, your steps aren't being counted. And if you are like me and you're like, no, I'm walking all day, I'm getting these effing steps on the count. I put the Apple Watch on my ankle, so I'm just able to walk. It counts all my steps, and I can still type and let my hands rest on the desk if I need to.
Yeah, I do the same thing, except I don't have a strap. So I actually take the watch and wrap it around my ankle.
Nice. Yeah, I
Yes.
tried to do that with the regular wrist thing, but my ankle and wrist are just very different sizes, so it
Mm.
didn't stretch enough because it's one of the elastic ones, like
Yeah.
this.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I really like it for I mean mainly really just the purpose of tracking steps. And then I like having notifications on because if you're a mom, you're like, I don't know where my phone is half the time. So I like getting notifications like your phone's ringing or someone sent you a text message or something like that. But you do have the capability of turning that off if you don't want your like watch constantly going off. Cause I know that I feel like you're someone who doesn't like that.
Oh yeah, I have them all completely
Yeah.
off, and I'm pretty sure my Apple Watch is broken to where I can't swipe down and see the notifications anymore, and I'm actually really cool with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
So,
just don't know how people like, you can give me some pushback for this if you want, like anyone who's listening, but if you have the Apple Watch and you have it vibrate and show notifications, like if my wrist was buzzing all day, I would be so annoyed. Like I think I would actually go crazy.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Oh, you have it buzzing? Oh, I
I
don't
mean,
know. I
yeah.
feel like it's just another reason to like stop what I'm doing and get distracted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like in the mornings and stuff, I have my phone set on like do not disturb. So therefore I don't get messages sent to my watch.
Hmm.
So if I'm in like a deep state working, environment, then I'll have it
Yeah.
turned off. But normally through the day, it's fine because I'm normally chasing cold around.
That's fair. That's fair. Cool. Awesome. Well, that was kind
Yeah.
of a good segue into the next, which I'll just kind of describe the whole setup, which would be if you work from home, the standing sit to stand desk with a walking pad so you can slide it in and out and walk or just sit at your desk, is one of the best investments if you work from home. Like maybe the price tag's like, oh my God, that's kind of like it's probably going to be like a grand up front if you do both those things together, and you get a nice quality of both. But like that is an investment in like you being able to not sit for 10 hours straight every single day, where we spend most of our time, most of our energy throughout the entire week. Like it is so worth it. And so like once I realized how like literally like day 2 on this walking pad, I was like, oh shit, this is really helpful. um, and I realized I had put it off for way too long. So even though it's a tough bullet to bite, it is a really, really good one. And I'll just say from my own experience, I went from struggling to maintain 6 to 8,000 steps a day to 12 to 15 every single day, easy.
Yeah, and I don't have a standing desk. I just have a laptop stand that's like adjustable and the
Oh, that's
walking pad.
cool.
So yeah, so it just kind of like extends the laptop up. And like I already have like a pretty high desk to begin with because, well, it's actually just my dining room table. And it's like a bar style. So it's just higher than normal. And then that works really well with the walking pad. So it wasn't thousands of dollars. It was probably only like 250 for the whole setup. And so it's a huge, huge, huge game changer to be able to walk and sit on your computer.
Yeah, I think walking pads, I've seen them range from anywhere from like 250-ish to like 500. Like there's some really nice ones, but mine was like maybe 300, I think.
Yeah, I think mine was like 250 or something, maybe
Yeah.
200.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So,
highly, highly, highly recommend getting either yourself or someone else a walking pad.
oh yeah. If you work from home, like I think it should be a non-negotiable, and also just ask your work if they reimburse for it because like it is office equipment and I think that's a viable expense.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess we have standing desk, we have laptop stand, and then so the other one you have is a second monitor
Oh yeah. I mean, that's
when it
just
comes to
like I don't, that's not even fitness. Why is that on there? Oh, because it's for the work from home setup. So like that's my whole
Mhm.
like thing is like have the desk, have multiple monitors, be able to walk, like make it comfortable and like I'm just saying that because like if you're into fitness and health, like it just makes your life so much easier to work with your ergonomics, like make it easier on your body to sustain your 40-hour work week or whatever. And then B, like you're able to stay active throughout the day. So like for example, the laptop stand, personally, I have a laptop stand even from my desk up because when you put your computer at eye level, you're not cranking your neck down all day. And that leads to less tension in your traps. And then, oh, you can go train without pain in your shoulders. Cool, right? So it's all intertwined. That's why I would say it's still a fitness on the fitness list. Because it just makes your body feel better.
Yeah, absolutely. And they do have second monitors where if you don't want to lug around like a giant second monitor, like let's say you go to coffee shops a lot or you're like traveling, they make some that like it's basically like an attachment to your
I've
laptop and
seen
it just
those.
slides out.
It
Yeah.
looks
So
so
I got
cool.
those from
You did?
my assistant coach. I got them for my assistant coach. Well, one of my assistant coaches, because she travels all the time. And so I was like, you need a second monitor. Like, I don't know. I don't know how people don't have one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I want to see how that works because I've only seen the ads for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I guess I mean, not really related, but we have water bottle slash like Stanley. And I mean, I guess it's, I mean, kind of still like with, the desk setup, like having just like, I mean, we both have like our water bottles like right next to us, right? Like I used to be the person who I'd be like sitting at my desk, I'd be like, oh, I'll get up and like fill up my water bottle. And I like never did. And so I'd carry around a gallon jug and then fill up my water bottle that I would carry with me. So I like doing that because I also just like being able to see how much water I've had to drink throughout the day. But being able to carry around like a big thing of water rather than just like an 8 ounce like little water bottle or something like that, especially if you're like always on the go and you like finish
Oh
your
yeah.
water and then you don't get water for like a couple hours until you get home. Like I just don't think that really makes a lot of sense.
Especially not when you're adapted to like drinking a lot of water. Cause like even just now before we started
Yeah.
recording, I hadn't had water for maybe like an hour and a half and my mouth was dry. And I was like, I can't do this. We can't record yet. I have to get more water.
Mhm.
Um, but I like the Stanley concept and how that's become very popular. I think it's popular for a reason because it has a handle so you can carry it around. It has a straw so you're not spilling shit all over yourself. It's insulated so it stays cold or whatever temperature you want it to be. And then it has the kind of shaped bottom part that fits in your car cup holder so you can take it with you and not be struggling to fit it in things. So I think it's just a very smart design and that's why it's so popular. Because I'm like anti anything cool for a while until I like become a late adopter. So I was like, nah, fuck that. I like my regular water bottle. The Stanleys are stupid. And then I got one and I was like, oh, I see.
Well, yeah, and like the other thing too, it's like you need to fill it up 3 times and you've hit your water goal for the day. Like
Yeah.
that's
Or for some people twice, like 80 ounces is
yeah.
still great. So it's so easy. So easy. They make little
Yeah,
ones
and
now though, which I think defeats the purpose.
yeah, I've seen little like miniature Stanleys, but the other thing that I like is, well, I guess some of our clients like is the water bottles that have the timing on it, where it's like 8 a.m.,
Mm,
like 9 a.m. So I think that that's really good if you're someone who has like doesn't know how to pace themselves maybe with water
yeah.
throughout the day. So it's like kind of like a good reminder to be like, oh yeah, shoot, I need to be drinking water. Or a lot of our clients like those.
Yeah. 100%. Those are cute. I like them. Um, Yeah. So yeah, I mean, just easy ways to stay hydrated, right?
Hmm.
One thing that I put on here was like walking or running shoes because I would say like making this a point to like go to a running store and get fitted and have your feet like measured and assessed if you've never done that before and you do walk a lot or maybe you have a walking pad or you do run. The reason why is because it's free at running stores. Like literally, they just do it because it's a running store, and they'll do like a full gait assessment. And they'll show you how like your walk is kind of like imbalanced in one way or the other, or what kind of support you need. And then you can get shoes that actually feel good to wear versus just picking up whatever sneakers off the rack and being like these look cool, but you can find ones that really fit your feet. And like the only difference is like it's not an outlet, right? You're not getting the extra discount, but it's like normal retail price shoes. So if that's something you can do, I would say it's totally worth it to like take the extra second to go in and like entertain the customer service there, get your feet assessed. Because I've noticed the biggest difference in like shin splints, back
Mm.
pain, hip pain from walking and running. Because what people don't really realize all the time is that from your feet, everything is a chain upwards. So if you're having like knee pain or back pain and you walk and you stand all the time, your shoes can play a huge difference in that. And so if you have sneakers that have just been beaten and battered for the past 5 years, you're definitely not supposed to keep them for that long. And B, like if they're not actually beneficial for your feet. So for example, if you have super high arches and they don't have any arch support, or if you have super low arches and you don't have the adjustment or the foot soles for that, it can really impact like the pain that you experience on a day-to-day basis. And that's something as simple as just swapping out your shoes. So that's one that I really, really love. And I think more people should just kind of like pay that extra 20 minutes that it takes to have the consultation at the store that's free, and go out of their way versus like just their Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that.
Yeah, I like that. And it's like making me be like, oh man, I need to do that.
It's so worth it. And they're so nice at the stores too. I love it.
Yeah, especially with just like how wonky my walk and run is. Like,
Are you
I
this
probably,
way? Are you a
oh, I'm like, oh yeah,
duck
I'm
walking?
super, super duck walking. Yeah. Like I used to, that was like my nickname in high school. I was like, I'd
Oh
get
my
quacked
gosh.
at going down the hallway.
God. Damn.
But yeah, so that brings us to flat soled shoes. So, especially if you
Oh,
are someone who's getting into the gym and again, really wanting to maximize what you're doing, if you are lifting lower body, definitely recommend investing in some flat soled shoes. So, running shoes are great for obviously running and walking, but when you're training, you want something a little bit different. So, no bowls are like a higher end, I guess, flat soled shoe. I have a pair. I don't love them. I
no, I
might have,
actually changed my opinion on them too for a
you
little bit
have?
recently. Yeah.
Okay. What is your opinion?
They they're just not the best trainer. I forget if it's not that the toe box is, I think the toe box might be a little too narrow. But yeah, they're just like, because they're kind of made like awkwardly sometimes for training or for CrossFit, and you're like, which is this for? But they're just not also that comfortable either.
Yeah, I think they're super, super uncomfortable. And like, I've really like, and I feel bad, but like, I almost don't want to wear them because they're
Yeah.
just kind of a pain. And like, I don't know. So they're flat. So they do what they're supposed to do, but I don't want to wear them. And I also feel like they're really uncomfortable to like walk around with.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
100%.
man, I don't want to like wear a different pair of shoes to then walk to the gym and then have to change my shoes when I get to the gym and then change like to me, I'm like, that's so silly. I just want like an I don't know.
Yeah.
So they're good for the gym, like at my home gym where I just like walk out to the gym and put my shoes on, but like walking around in the actual gym, I'm like, ugh, because I'm like, I want to warm up on the treadmill and they're like not very comfortable. And I feel like I'm gonna
Oh,
get
they're horrible for
blisters.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
I
generally,
just
yeah, generally flat soled shoes for lifting, even upper body, but definitely lower body. And no balls are one example. I know people that love them, so don't like make a jump to conclusion off of what we're saying. But yeah, I find that
just
they're
maybe
not
size
my
up.
favorite. Yeah. But you can also get Nike trainers. They have a great series of those, and they're pretty comfortable. Um, I usually just wear high top Vans. I
Mm.
literally like Vans and Converse are the OGs, like 2015, 2016. Everyone was wearing them. A lot of people still do. That's a great shoe. The reason for this, by the way, is both of those kinds of shoes have a wider toe box, meaning that like up where your toes are, there's just more space because what you want to do when you're lifting, especially lower body and lifting heavy, you want to kind of be able to spread and grip the ground with your toes to generate more force out of your legs, whatever you're doing, whether that's a squat or an RDL deadlift. It does help to spread and kind of cover as much surface area as you can with your feet and kind of grip the ground to produce force. So the toe box being wide is helpful. And then just the flatness to actually be able to feel like you have contact with the ground. Because imagine being in a running shoe that's like curved on the bottom and trying to get stable in the bottom of a heavy squat. It's like, no, you'll be rocking back and forth like a rocking chair. Like that is not good for anything.
No.
So,
No, and you'll see that a lot with people in the gym. Like they're very unstable when they're squatting, especially if they're doing it in running shoes. And the other thing too that you might notice is from switching from doing lower body in a running shoe where there's an arch to flat soled, you might find that your back doesn't hurt as much.
that's what I was gonna say.
Um,
People have pain. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So go ahead and try that out. Or, if your friend has been asking for nobles, go ahead and get them.
Yeah, yeah. And no balls aren't bad. They're just, I think they are maybe a little overhyped. Like they're really popular because they have a lot of great athletes with the name, but specifically their trainers, are not the most comfortable training shoe, in our opinion.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, but Converse
Next.
Vans, Nike trainers. Are there other brands that I'm thinking of? I mean, you could
Oh,
literally
they
go
have
train.
those, like those, the toe shoes, where they're like,
Oh, yeah.
but I mean, I've
Like
seen
barefoot
people,
shoes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen people train in them and like, I mean,
It's
I
roughly the
would,
same,
yeah,
right?
I
It's
wouldn't
like a
do it,
flat
but
shoe. Yeah. And then I think you could literally like any flat shoe, like you could go train in Dunks or Air Force Ones, like if you really wanted to. Um, so, and wrestling shoes are a good flat sole as well. I have a couple friends who have done that. But yeah, anyways, flat soles, running shoes, have the appropriate shoes for the appropriate activity, and you'll have a lot less pain.
yeah, yeah.
What were you going
So
to say next?
I was gonna say next we've got, I guess, kind of in the theme of like bringing stuff to the gym yourself. So a lot of gyms either don't have or they're always taken or you cannot find them, like the hip thrust pad. So I loved being able to just throw that in my gym bag and like always have it. So I didn't have to like try to find it. It was in this place or someone's using it, or it's just like the little flimsy dinky
Yeah,
one. And so just having your own, whether that again, home gym or you're going to the gym, just having your own hip thrust pad. I mean, it's such a small investment and it'll make
yeah.
a world of a difference.
I literally would tell like all my clients back in the day, I'd be like, "This is the best $20 you'll ever spend. I promise you, just get it. You will not regret it." Because what people will do is they'll get the yoga mats at the gym and they'll try to layer it up under the bar, and they'll be like, "Oh, this hurts, right? I'm doing heavy hip thrusts, and this hurts with the bar on my hips." And you're like, "Well, buy the pad." They're like, "No, it's the same thing. It's not going to be any better." It is so much better. I promise you, and it is so worth it. And like I still bring that thing anytime I have lower body. I just bring the hip thrust pad with me to the gym every single time because it's always, always worth it to have.
Yeah, you got me one, what, 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Oh, it had to be longer ago than that, I feel
Yeah.
like.
I think it was after you came, after 2020, because I think it was
Oh
after
my
you came
God.
to visit.
And you didn't have one. And I was like, this sucks. I'm sending you one.
Yeah. I had the little
I
dinky
did.
one. So
I
yeah,
remember
but
that.
it does make a big difference. And similar, like having a bench that is actually like, what's the word I'm looking for?
The right height.
Conducive to hip thrusts. Yeah, that is the
Yeah.
right height. Cause like if you're using something that's too little, like too high, or like even like the foam benches, it's like you just kind of like sink in
I
and
hate
you're
it.
not
Yeah.
getting the, yeah, like the proper like range of motion or really making the most out of the exercise. Cause in my opinion, I'm like, if you're gonna do hip thrusts, like you're gonna like do them, right? You might as well like
Yeah.
get the most bang for your buck. And so having a bench, and whether you're doing, Brett Contreras, like the hip thrust pad, like bench, whatever, like it's worth it, especially if you are looking to invest in like quality home gym equipment. Like I
Yeah.
would definitely recommend that.
Yeah. So like the hip thrust, the ideal height for a bench for that, like if you're really tall, good for you. You can probably use a bench. Like if you're probably over 6 feet tall, you can use a regular gym bench and probably be fine. But if you are not over 6 feet tall, it's probably going to be a little too high. And I would measure it based on where does your kneecap fall. So I would always say like just below your kneecap is like perfect height, or even slightly lower than that for a hip thrust, and for split squats to not overextend your hip flexors on the back leg. So the Brett Contreras bench is great. I invested in it for my home gym a little bit ago, and it's like $200. I was like, I don't want to pull the trigger for anything, but I was just like, I don't want to do it. But it is very worth it, and it's not foam, but it looks like it could be made of foam, but it doesn't sink, which is actually really nice. So I was surprised by that. But anyways, that's a big one. So definitely a good one if you have a home gym.
Yeah. And then similarly, we have a gym bag. So I think it's really important to invest in a quality gym bag, especially if you are commuting, right? Like if you don't work from home, if you have going from the office to the gym, I think it's really nice to have something that has like just sturdy and is just nice. So for me, I'm a huge germaphobe. I've talked about it like multiple times on the podcast before. It was really important to me to have a gym bag that had a compartment specifically for shoes because
Yeah.
again, I'm just super weird. I would never just be able to throw tennis shoes like in my actual gym bag.
Oh
So
yeah.
that was really important to me to have that like separate compartment, especially because I was bringing like my work clothes. And so I just having like sneakers and then I'd put my work shoes in there and then I'd flip flop, like that was just
Yeah.
really important to me.
I don't think that that's like germophobic. I think that's just like common sense, right? Because it's like you don't throw your shoes in with everything. Oh, literally
People do.
ever since like youth sports, like the volleyball bags we would get for like our teams would have like the side pocket or like an insert where you could throw your shoes in the side and then everything else. And I was always like, that stays there because shoes smell terrible. Um, I was gonna say also if you have a gym bag and you're like, oh, I don't need that, smell yours and then decide because you could totally use an upgrade if you've had a gym bag for a while and it just stinks because that's kind of what they end up doing at some point. So don't be afraid of an upgrade either.
Yeah, I actually just tossed mine because it's like, I don't know,
Yeah,
it just gets like a lot of stuff in it. And
it
like I've
gets
cleaned it, I've
gross.
washed
Yeah.
it before, but yeah, it just ugh. So I have one of my coaches got me the Wolfpack backpack.
Yeah.
So I have that and I like that there's a compartment for food. Like I think that that is super cute. Like you can have the little Tupperware and I think it's insulated. But it's actually like a pretty big backpack. It's like pretty substantial, so it can fit a lot of stuff in it. I really
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, I've actually been using the mini one that we got from the Legacy Retreat uh
Oh,
for my gym bag because I all I have in there is a couple of like the little glute warm-up bands and my wrist wraps and I usually just put my wallet in there and that's usually it. So, and like my
we
keys.
gave
And
ours
then
to we gave ours to Colton.
yeah, so I've been using mine
It
for
was so
that.
perfect. Oh my
But
gosh, it's hilarious.
definitely yeah, and you don't have to like when you think gym bag, I used to think of gym bag as like big duffel bag, million things in it. Like it can be smaller, it could be like a backpack, it could be anything. Like I just would the last one I had that we actually just rummaged through and cleaned out and we're probably gonna throw away that I used for a few years was just like a Nike sport pack from wherever whatever outlet I could find and that was great. So anything that's good like that.
Yeah, and the other thing that I like is having a place for your water bottle.
Oh
So I
yeah.
don't know if the mini one has that, but it's just nice.
No.
Like I like having my hands free, and so anything less that I can carry, just like throw in the bag.
Yeah. True, true,
Yeah,
very true.
yeah.
But that brings us to wrist wraps. So this is a subject that I'm very passionate about.
Yes. Yes, me
So
too. I was just thinking about when I go to the gym for a pull day and I forgot my wrist wraps and I'm like, oh my
uh,
God.
I have to change what I'm
Worst.
doing. I went yesterday without my wrist straps or my grips, and I was doing lower body, and I had RDLs and split squats, and I was like,
Ugh.
I'm just gonna rummage through the cubbies and find some, and I found some random pair, and I
Mm.
just used them. But essentially, wrist wraps. There's two kind of categories for this. So there's straps or grips that I would say. So like there's basically something the type that helps you um hold on to heavy weight that you otherwise couldn't grip on your own. And so that comes in strap form where it's a strap around your wrist and then you wrap it around the bar and grab onto it. It's just a little more work to deal with. But then there's also grips, which are like Versa grips, Cobra grips. There's like the CrossFit version. They have like Bear Complex. I forget what the other Victory grips or something like that. They're all the same. Essentially, you're able to have like a wrap around the bar and it wraps around your wrist. So it relieves the pressure from your grip so that you just literally can lift the weight. But there's also wrist straps, or no, sorry, wrist straps are what I just said. Wrist wraps are
Mm.
like wrist. wraps for like heavy benching or any sort of pressing that only wraps around your wrist to provide wrist support, so that if you have flimsy wrists, for example, and you're pushing a lot of weight, it does provide an extra layer of stability. So that's something that like I used to use for really heavy benching, for really heavy sets. It's just you wrap it horizontally around your wrist and it's just support there. So those are wrist wraps, but straps and or grips are the ones that help you with your grip strength.
Yeah. I actually, I think, I mean, I prefer wrist straps,
You mean like the
wraps.
wraparounds?
Yeah, I prefer wraparounds. But I only I prefer them for certain movements. Like I feel like with deadlift or anything like that, like I feel like I just can get a better grip. But if I'm doing like one arm rows, then I like Versas.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I found that like certain move or even like a pull down movement, it's like it's super awkward trying to like wrap or
Yeah.
yourself around the bar versus like just having Versa grip. So I have a little bit of a preference for like which exercises I prefer to use them, but I feel like in a pinch, I just like using the wrist the wraparounds.
Yeah. I actually have been using the like CrossFit style ones. They're called Bear
Mm.
Complex. It's literally like VersaGrips, except the actual wraparound part isn't leather. It's like a softer fabric. So it just provides
Mm.
like a little less. So it doesn't hold quite as much weight, which has helped me kind of with an in-between grip strength.
Yeah.
And so they're a little more flexible. Um, but yeah, so like you can use those. Any sort of wrist strap like a VersaGrip or the Bear Complex or anything. You can either, if let's say you just want to protect your hands and do pull-ups or like some kipping movement or whatever, you can have the, I'm going to try to describe this. You can have the flap, that's what it's called, the flap with your hand in between your hand and the bar. And so you can just grip it and it's there in between your hand and the bar just to protect your hand. Or you can take the flap and you can wrap it the opposite direction around the bar and then grip onto the edge of the flap so that the bar is actually in the middle and it's basically helping your grip strength because that's where you get like the most support. So that I know is like a really common one that a lot of people don't do. And they're like, this isn't helping. And I'm like, well, it's because you need to wrap it around the bar, not just adjacent with it. And
Mhm.
that can really, really help. So, yes.
Yeah. So another thing that I just thought of when we were talking was like ankle straps, because especially if you're doing kickbacks and I feel like most gyms don't really have what you actually need. So just having your
Yeah.
own straps, so you don't have to like, again, same thing. You don't have to dig around, try to find the attachment that you're looking for. Like you already have it and you know that like, especially because I feel like most gyms don't have anything that actually like securely goes around and like holds like around your
Yeah.
ankle. It's more just like they slide up and down. And so you're trying to do like kickbacks and it's like not actually really doing anything. It's more of a pain. So just investing in some cheap ankle straps and just having them,
Yeah. I think those are like
bring them
10
yourself.
bucks.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, so those are all things that we have used or do use, bring around the gym nowadays.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
any other gym ones? No, I think the rest we're getting into the kitchen. So the
Hmm.
Ninja Creamy. So I actually don't have this yet. And I really, really want one. But I feel like every time I like look on Amazon, it's like sold out or whatever. So, and I really don't care to like go dig further, but I've seen the texture of how these have turned out for people, and I'm like, oh my God. So that is a great gift for me specifically. If you're listening to this, please, please gift me that. But it basically is an ice cream maker, and I think influencers or fitness people have, yeah, it looks so good.
Like,
There's so many recipes for how to make like protein ice cream or just like healthier versions of ice cream than like literal heavy whipping cream. Obviously, I think you can use it for that as well, but what basically all of the fitness industry has been doing has been using it to make protein ice creams and things with mix-ins that are just like McFlurries, but now you're getting 40 grams of protein and barely any carbs or fat. So Really easy way. Again, same idea. Engineer your environment to work for you rather than against you. And really like make healthy, high protein eating living really easy.
Yeah, and I'm the same as you. Like when something starts to go viral, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to buy into it. And then
I don't want another
eh,
thing, right?
yeah, and
Yeah.
then I gave in. But
Oh, you have
I think
one. So that was
only,
yours?
yeah, I do have one. So I love it. And I asked for one for my birthday because mostly because I don't ever really know what to ask for myself because I feel
Yeah.
like I have things that I want. And then if it's something I'm like, I want like furniture, I want my groceries like paid for, like I
Yeah.
want like a super adult things. And so I'm like, I just don't feel like I have anything fun to like ask for. But I saw that and I was like, what the heck? And my mom got it for me. It was great timing because she came to come visit me. So we got to like try it out together and she's hooked. She got one. Um, but I would be careful though, because some protein just like it's like icy slushy versus
Yeah.
like that creamy consistency. So making sure that like I would probably use like a whey protein versus
Yeah.
like an isolate.
That's what I was
But yeah,
thinking.
so yeah, a lot of I mean it's so much fun, like all the different, recipes that you can make. Like I'm a big cookies and cream, like oof, so good. But yeah, I really like it, especially in the summer. That was like really
Yeah.
nice at the end of the night.
Yeah, definitely. I was gonna say, yeah, probably the consistency wise, the same way that protein kind of varies in terms of how it mixes into water or milk or makes smoothies, like, or just protein ice cream that we've made in the blender, because like that was still a thing that I did. But like whey concentrates and like casein blends are gonna be way better in this thing than an isolate. So if you are looking for protein powder, that's what you should look for your fitness gift guide with your creamy. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
and that's kind of like similar adjacent to like having a Nutrisystem, not Nutrisystem, oh my God, a Ninja or like a NutriBullet, that's the word. Or like one of those like handheld cup size blenders, which you can make a version of protein ice cream in there. But you tell me, so you have a creamy, like my fear is that like it wouldn't have been as like that the creamy would be like a similar texture to just like protein ice cream in a blender. Is it like actually more thick and ice creamy?
Oh yeah, I mean the video I was just showing you, like you can like
I know,
pick
but
the spoon up.
I watch the videos and I'm like, I don't know though. It could still be kind of soft or you
No,
know?
it's like froyo texture.
Okay.
Yeah. If you came, I would make you protein ice cream. Um,
Yeah, those were my skepticisms where I was like, is this going to be the same as if I make it in my blender? But it's probably not. So
no, it's definitely more creamy. It's like
cool.
I would say it's like a froyo texture.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, any sort of like handheld blender, not even just for that, but for smoothies and just easy, like even just like I don't know. I don't even use shaker cups anymore to mix protein if I ever drink it. Like I'll put water or milk in the blender and I will like do a cup's worth of that and like use the actual like blending to get it going because sometimes it's just like I do not want to swallow a protein chunk. Like it's not the day for that.
Yeah, it's like I'm not 2015 Marissa anymore.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
I like using my blender for like, yeah, of course, smoothies, like protein smoothies, but I like making like salad dressings or sauces or anything like that. So I will use that. And I think it's just nice, like, especially, I mean, I think that you and I were both very like, if it fits your macros and just kind of eating whatever because it had low calories. We went through our Walden Farms era and now
Oh
being a
yeah.
little bit more conscious about like what ingredients you use and like and like my husband and I are trying to like kind of clean up some of the things that we use. And so it's like one of the things that we do is make our own salad dressings and it's like just like little things like that. I really like making it for sauces. And so I think it's just a
Cool.
nice little kitchen gadget.
Yeah. And it's probably less calories too, even with like making your own compared to like buying ranch or something from the store. So
Definitely.
yeah. So you get the best of both with a little bit of effort. But another one we have is an air fryer. So if you are somebody who hates, quote unquote, hates leftovers, cannot eat reheated food, this will challenge your whole mindset about that, because most of the time when we're thinking about reheating, we're thinking about soggy microwave food, which makes total sense. But an air fryer makes everything crisp and delicious. And so if you're somebody who has always said, like, I can't eat the same things, I can't eat leftovers, meal prep sucks because of this, we've had so many clients who jump on the air fryer train, and literally like their world has shifted because it feels fresh every time you heat something up in the air fryer, and you can make so much with it. Meal prep, just heat things up, like faux fried foods, like it's great. So do not underestimate the air fryer.
Yeah. And not just for reheating, but cooking, because I think that a lot of times
Yeah.
people have an issue with like being like sitting over a stove and like having to like stir a pot or mix some stuff around. And so just being able to throw something in the air fryer and maybe like shake it like
Yeah.
once in between, like it's just nice to be able to have like just like uh low effort cooking.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like
Yeah.
it's gotten so easy nowadays, like air fryer recipes, instant pot, that sort of thing. So no excuses anymore. But that's a good one. And it's like $100 or something, probably less at this point. I remember like 5, 6 years ago when I got my first air fryer. Um, Funny story about it. We actually didn't get it. Like I ordered it, and it was to an old apartment that I was at a while back. It was like when we first met type of timeline. And I didn't know that the apartment complex had a delivery room. So I just like was waiting to find it at my door and never did. So I submitted a complaint with Amazon. Oh no, it was a $50 air fryer. It's not that expensive. So it was $50. And basically I was like, hey, never got it. Must have gotten stolen or something. They sent another one, no questions asked. And I got that one to my door. And I was like, cool.
Hmm.
And then I eventually, at some point, found my way into the mailroom and saw the box sitting there, like under a pile of stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I have two air fryers. So I got two for the price of one.
Nice,
So,
nice. So not ethical.
no, but I think I don't think I sold the second one, but I think I just gave it away because I felt bad.
There you go. Yeah. So well, I'll help your karma, right?
Yeah, cool.
All right. Next up, we've got AirPods slash like headphones. So AirPods are a game changer, especially I feel like if you're working like a lot at your laptop, just to be able to like get up and like walk around and still be connected and not have to like unplug or anything like that. So nice.
Remember when I was on your back about finally getting AirPods?
Yeah. And then you got them for me.
And then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy these for her as a gift. Um, because she was doing the plug-in headphones every time we podcasted. And I was like, I promise you, I'm a late adopter too, but this is a game changer.
Yeah. I'm just so anti like I guess I don't know, like viral stuff. And so I like try to hold out and then I'm like, you're right. This is so much better.
Yeah, next up, I gotta get you on a MacBook.
Oh man, that'll be a big, big friendship milestone if I got a MacBook from you.
I just mean you
Um,
need to get one, girl.
yeah.
But but yeah, so headphones, just a good pair. Like Beats makes great ones, and like it's nice to have for the gym. Noise cancellation can help you just focus and not be concerned about what other people are thinking, or just staying in your zone. And helpful for a lot of reasons. So it's a good one. Supplements is on our list. I would say like
Um,
protein powder is a great one because like the supplement industry as a whole has been very subject to inflation. So if you want to ask for it as a gift, all the better, right? But basically, I mean, honestly, supplements I would recommend at this point. Make sure you're taking a multivitamin, a fish oil, vitamin D, most people need, and probably protein as a just in case. and or for Ninja Creamy ice cream. So really not much more than that. I would not waste your money or your time asking for or spending money on fat burners or thermogenics or fancy shit unless you actually have like a designated like functional medicine specialist and a supplement protocol. But that's a really rare one-off case.
Yeah. I'd also throw in creatine, like
Oh, yeah.
just,
I forgot
or like
about
a
that one.
fish oil. Yeah. So it's
That,
just, we're super basic now with like our
yeah.
supplements and what we recommend. But I also think it's kind of nice, right? Just to have like a bare bones, like you don't really need a whole lot. Like just,
Mhm.
yeah, just kind of having those staples. But yeah, I would say definitely ask for protein if you're someone who like has a lot of protein. Cause yeah, it's gotten very expensive.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what I would do without my like Nutrition Corners partnership because then I would be paying for everything and it's just another expense.
Yeah.
Um, and then okay, so this one I've recently been turned on to. Again, it's like this has been a thing for a while. If you're hearing this and you're like, no shit, Marissa, it's because I am probably a late adopter to most trends, but like leggings, workout gear, all this stuff. Amazon is actually really great with all of this. I'm wearing leggings and a top from Amazon right now, and it feels great. Like it's just like cheap, great quality clothing. I can't tell you how long it lasts because I just hopped on this trend, but I don't really care because the pants were like 20 bucks. The shirts were like 3 for 30. Like it's not it's like going to H&M and getting the stuff off of their like basics section that like all that stuff is like not great quality. Like that stuff I'm kind of sketched out by in person at the malls, but like this is like packaged, sanitary, fresh, good quality, like, and gets delivered to your door. So I've officially converted to only shopping on Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really like shopping in stores. It's just
Yeah,
not my thing
can't do it.
anymore. I think it's, yeah, I'm like, man, I'm going to waste a whole like half of a day, like doing, no, like, unless
No,
I have something very, very specific that I'm like looking for, like, or like, I don't know, but yeah, I
yeah.
like to do everything online.
Stores are also designed to overwhelm you, to be confusing, to make you want to buy more and struggle to like make rational decisions. So like it's not great for like going to be like, I need this, I need this. Like I like to just plug in a search criteria, workout tank tops and go see what I get. And then the return policy on Amazon is great. It's like you literally just bring the thing back. You can bring it back opened and like you've tried it on and everything, but you can bring it back, drop it off at a UPS or wherever, and they take it back. They send you a refund, good to go. So it's like a no brainer if something doesn't fit, like you get a refund right away.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, I would say that, I don't think your friend would be upset if you got them a pair of Amazon dupe Lulus from
Mm-hmm.
from Amazon. So all of these are really, really good ideas. If there's anything else that you guys have thought of, shoot us a message. Like I'd love to hear your ideas because I think that's just super fun. Oh, I didn't actually, we went over this, a Hatch alarm clock.
Oh
So
yeah. What is that?
this so we have one for Colton. It lights up and you can like
Oh
change the
yeah.
colors and stuff. So this is what I was going to get. And then what I have actually in my cart right now for my husband is a Hatch alarm clock. So the Hatch 2, what it does is you say, okay, I want to wake up at this time. So I don't know how early it starts, but it starts like lighting up the room. So you're not waking up to like a panic because your alarm is going off. Like you're just naturally kind of waking up with, the circadian rhythm. Like that's the idea of it. And so
Yeah.
I'm really, again, I feel like an old lady excited for like sleep gear. But that is, I think it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of more on like the natural, like kind of side of things. Like, I don't know if it's the term, it's like crunchy, like I'm a crunchy mom, but
I've
you've
never
never heard of
heard
that.
that.
Okay. Yeah. It's
No.
like crunchy now. I don't know. I don't even know what it stands for. Cause I
Ew.
just don't, I know. I just like, don't know. I don't look into that stuff, but I know it's a term and I don't know
Is
if I'm
that like
even
a
using
Gen
it
Z term?
correctly. I don't know. I don't
Probably is.
know. I think it's like millennial, but yeah, but that's what I'm excited for is like just the more waking up just like more naturally.
100%. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
really interested in those for a while, so I just didn't know it was called that.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, that's it then.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys have any other ideas, any fun things, definitely let us know. I'd love to add to our list. We'll be able to surprise some of our fit friends, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode a little bit different than what we normally do, but hope you enjoyed. And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast. You can find both of us on Instagram. You can find me at Christina Fit. Marissa is at Marissa Roy Fitness. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we hope to see you back next week.